Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video tonight there is lots to negotiate about. You know, I am going to be giving you some additional information on Jude Bellingham because there is huge developments on him. Then I'm going to be talking with you a bit more about Paul Pogba, the contractual situation with him. Then I'm going to be giving you some latest news on Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid. By the way, I think, with Solskjaer's got around 5 top targets that, he's interested in getting into the football club. Obviously, a few of our priority targets, are Jadon Sancho, Jack Grealish, he's another one of our priority targets. By the way, now, Jack Grealish is our number one priority target in that. So, yeah. So, anyway, let's start with the news on Jude Bellingham from Birmingham. So, we are now behind in the race for Jude Bellingham. I think actually, Borussia Dortmund are emerged as the favourites to sign Jude Bellingham. Because it actually, said not too long ago from the German press that, Borussia Dortmund are the favourites, and it said that Jude Bellingham had agreed to join Borussia Dortmund. He said he'd agreed to join Borussia Dortmund and that. And it said also a few months ago from the German press that, Borussia Dortmund were emerged as the favourites to sign him. But it did say, that he has rejected a move to Manchester United. Now, Jude Bellingham's father has actually, urged him to join Borussia Dortmund instead of Manchester United and that. I think, his father, does want him to move abroad anyway. Now, also, I just want to confirm with you that the Birmingham City boss, Pep Cloyter, is going to be leaving Birmingham City at the end of the season. So, some Man United fans have reacted to this and said, we should now go all out for Jude Bellingham. Now, basically, Birmingham have said that they do want the full cash amount up front if they are to offload Jude Bellingham. I think the deal is worth around £50 million. Don't forget though, Pep Cloyter did say to Man United that more clubs will attract their interest in Jude Bellingham. Now, don't forget, we've already made a promise to Jude Bellingham that, we will offer him a senior role if he signs for the football club in the summer transfer window. But I think Jude Bellingham's going to be staying at Birmingham for the rest of the season. But I think he's going to be leaving Birmingham when the season ends. Now, at the moment, Jude Bellingham is on around 145 quid a week. Jude Bellingham, of course, is only 16. It did say, when he does turn 17, and Bellingham is nearly 17 now, he, will be signing that professional contract, will Jude Bellingham. Don't forget, Jude Bellingham became the youngest player to ever, represent Birmingham. He made his senior debut at the age of 16 years and 38 days. And like I said, he has played persistently this season in the Championship. He has played, around 30-odd games in all competitions for them. And, don't forget, back in March, Jude Bellingham had visited our Carrington training ground to obviously, hold talks with Sir Alex Ferguson. Ed Woodward had also had, negotiations with his parents. So that, did fuel quite a lot of speculation up, then. But up until this point, Jude Bellingham has spent the entirety of his career with Birmingham. He's been a Birmingham player since the age of 8. He was in their youth setup for a good 8 years, something like that. But, like I said, he's done very, very well this season. Jude Bellingham's versatility is also very, very good. Now, don't forget, he did say around 3 weeks ago now, was it, or just a bit longer, that we also want to get Jude Bellingham's brother as part of the deal, and that is Joe Bellingham. And he, of course, is only at the age of 15. So, yeah, we are now behind in the race for Jude Bellingham because obviously, his father does not want him to come to Manchester United and that. Don't forget, Chelsea have also been in for him. But some people have actually, said that Bellingham, he's not Premier League standard as yet. And, he should get at least another season in the Championship, to emulate to that level and, obviously, gain a bit more experience. But But obviously, he's aware of the speculation is Jude Bellingham. So, yeah, so that's the latest news on him. Now let's delve into the news on Paul Pogba. So I think I mentioned this earlier on today. So reportedly now Man United are in talks with Paul Pogba over extending his contract at the football club. Now, as it stands at the moment, Pogba has got a year left on his Manchester United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. In that, and we probably will trigger that 1 year extension on Paul Pogba's contract. Now, like I said to I think Bruno Fernandes is key to Paul Pogba's long-term future at the club. Because like I said, Bruno Fernandes has done very, very well for us. Definitely, the sign that Bruno Fernandes has saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job, and, he's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Man United career in that. But if Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes can build a fantastic partnership in our midfield, then I think, Paul Pogba could end up signing a new long-term contract at Manchester United. And then probably, will become the highest paid player, because he's one of the highest paid players now at the moment. I think he's on, is it 300 grand a week or just under 300 grand a week on his current deal at the moment. But we have been in talks of getting Paul Pogba a new contract for quite some time. More or less now, Paul Pogba's future at the football club has been resolved. He's going to be staying at the football club for next season. Don't forget, Paul Pogba has just recovered from injury not too long ago. Like I said, he's been injured throughout the course of this season, so I haven't really had a perception on him. Paul Pogba has only played 8 times this season for Manchester United. His appearances have been limited due to his injuries. The last game he did play was our 4-1 win against Newcastle, and the last time he started from the start was back in September. It was back in September, yeah. But yeah, I'm really, really excited about the prospects of Paul Pogba playing alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield. Them playing together, you'd have Paul Pogba in the number 6 or the number 8, and obviously, you'd have Bruno Fernandes in the number 10, which is Bruno Fernandes' predominant position in that, But we believe anyway that Mino Raiola, who's Pogba's agent, we believe he's the only one that wants Paul Pogba to leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window. Like I said, Paul Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. We've recently confirmed anyway that Pogba is not for sale. Because, we said we value him at around £150 million. And I did say, if we decided to sell him, it'd be very imperative that we got more than the £89 million that we paid for him. Because as it stands at the moment, Paul Pogba is our most expensive signing. There were stories coming out from Leeds End Sport the other week saying that Pogba was open to making a move to PSG. There's still reports, saying that Real Madrid and Juventus are looking to get him. And I did say, when Paul Pogba does eventually leave the club, I think he'll make a return back to Juventus, because Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus, but the vast majority of his performances at Man United since he rejoined have been totally comparison to his ones in Turin. Like I said, Real Madrid are still in for him. There was relentless links with him last summer. Don't forget, last summer, Paul Pogba's preference was to make a move to Real Madrid. But the main explanation why his move to Real Madrid didn't materialise was obviously, reflecting on the substantial amount we put on him, because we said last summer we wanted 180 million for Pogba. Real Madrid were not willing to meet that valuation. Of course, Real Madrid, recruited they've recruited around 6 players in last summer and spent nearly £300 million. Of course, they've got the likes of Eden Hazard, Luka Jovic, Rodrigo, Ferland Mendy and Eder Militao and all of that. So they are looking to do more business, when the summer transfer market does open and that. Don't forget, Real Madrid's players have had to take pay cuts. So too have Barcelona's players. They've also had to take pay cuts as well. But yeah, Real Madrid have got a few players on their agenda who they're actually planning to sign next summer, and that's obviously, Mbappe, Haaland. It also mentioned they were planning to sign Kai Havertz as well next summer. So there you go. But Paul Pogba did make the admission last summer, saying that he wanted to leave Manchester United because he was seeking for a new challenge and that. Don't forget, as well, swap deals have been high on the agenda, for quite some time now. Don't forget there were stories coming out the other week saying that, Real Madrid had offered us up to four of their players for Paul Pogba, and that was James Rodriguez, Lucas Vazquez, Brahim Diaz, and Martin Odegaard. They're the four players that they offered us. Juventus have tried offering us a few of their players, to try and get Paul Pogba. Adrian Rabiot's being mentioned, Federico Bernardeschi's being mentioned. Delits were mentioned a while ago, Miralem Pjanic, Douglas Costa and that. They've all been mentioned as well, and so too Aaron Ramsey. Yeah, but they have been high on the agenda, but like I said before, swap deals are very, very rare in the modern game and that. Like I said as well, Inter Milan have been in for Pogba before, Barcelona have also been in for him. But I think now Paul Pogba wants to stay at the football club anyway. Actually, before the football season got suspended, Paul Pogba did say he was interested in staying at Manchester United. I think, the best we saw of Paul Pogba was in that 3-month period when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, was the interim manager. Like I said, with being very, very critical of Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, since the turn of the year, reflects on some of the comments. He said, don't forget his held negotiations with Juventus and Real Madrid. Like I said, Paul Pogba endured a very, very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era, but obviously, a lot of the top players, or all the top players, should I say, endured difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era, and now Jose Mourinho's got a bad reputation with the top players. Pogba's won 2 trophies at the football club at the moment, and that was the Europa League and a League Cup in his first season at Manchester United. In reality, you can say we made a mistake by getting rid of Pogba when he was younger, because we did have him under the Alex Ferguson era. We recommended him in from Le Havre, but we had to let him go on a free transfer due to limited appearances and that. And Pogba, has received a lot of criticism as a Manchester United player. His biggest critics this season, have been Roy Keane and, Graham Souness and that. And some people have advised Paul Pogba to leave, to stop all of the criticism. But I still think he's a very, very good player. But we haven't really seen how good he can be at Manchester United, not persistently. He's had a few good games and that. But, I'm looking forward to seeing how Paul Pogba performs, when the football season does resume and that. I am really, really looking forward to it. So we are in talks now over extending his contract. So that's the latest news on Paul Pogba. Now, let's delve into news on Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid. So, there's reports stemming from the Spanish press saying that, Manchester United are close to signing Saul Niguez. And it says that allegedly a fee of around £71 million has been agreed between Manchester United and Atletico Madrid in that. Now, obviously, Sunday, not the one just gone, the Sunday before that one, there were stories coming out saying that Saul Niguez had posted a tweet saying that he will announce his club in the next 3 days. So he did announce his club, and the club was Club Costa City in his hometown Elche, and I think he created this with his brother and that. So after he announced his club, I fully disregarded Saul Niguez coming to Manchester United and that. Now, obviously, I think Manchester City have also been in for Saul Niguez as well. I don't think he's going to be leaving Atletico Madrid personally. Saul Niguez has got around a £131 million release clause in his Atletico Madrid contract. Or it might be more than £131 million, but it's in the £130 million range. This release clause came into the equation in 2017 when he did sign that 9-year contract with Atletico Madrid. And Saul Niguez has still got a contract with Atletico Madrid until 2026, so still got quite a few years left on his contract. Saul Niguez has spent the entirety of his career with Atletico Madrid. I think this has been now his 12th season with Atletico Madrid. He's made over 300 appearances for them in all competitions, in all competitions and that. Saul Niguez is in his mid-20s. He can play as a central midfielder. He can also play as a holding midfielder. I think he's predominantly a defensive midfielder. When he was younger, he was predominantly a centre-half, was Saul Niguez. And like I said, Atletico Madrid have lost quite a few of their imperative players in recent years. Don't forget they lost Rodri last year to City, they lost Griezmann last summer to Barcelona, they lost Diego Godin, didn't they lose Raul Jimenez around 5 or 6 years ago as well. But Diego Simeone is invested into that Atletico Madrid team. He's brought more players in recent years. They've got likes of Joe Felix in, Morata, Diego Costa, Kieran Trippier, Thomas Lemar and all of that. So, they did get quite a few players in, did Atletico Madrid. So, I don't think, Saul Niguez is coming to Manchester United. But he did actually, say that we'd scouted Saul Niguez in Atletico Madrid's 3-2 win against Liverpool in the last 16 of the Champions League and that. So, there you go. Obviously, you know the news on Jack Grealish. Like I updated you recently, it says Manchester United's interest in Jack Grealish depends on Aston Villa's survival. So if Aston Villa are to survive relegation, then Villa are willing to do business with the player. But if Villa do get relegated, they are reluctant to offload him. But obviously, Villa have already confirmed, that they do want £80 million for Jack Grealish. Regardless of whether they get relegated or not, maybe we've got strong reservations about paying £80 million for Jack Grealish. That's too much for Jack Grealish, to be quite honest with you. I think we said a while ago we was hopeful that we could get Grealish for around £50 million or something like that. But we've already revealed that, Jack Grealish is our preference over James Maddison and that, And the main explanations, why he's our preference over James Maddison is because he's actually a cheaper solution, because Maddison, would cost at least £100 million to convince Leicester to offload him. Plus, his stats have been better than Maddison's this season. Plus, he's more versatile than James Maddison and that. But yeah, he is now our number one priority target, is Jack Grealish. There were stories coming out quite a few weeks ago saying that we could offer up to 5 of our players, to get Jack Grealish on the board. Even Grealish would be a cheaper solution than Jadon Sancho. And obviously, Grealish is, well proven in the Premier League and that. I know Maddison's well proven in the Premier League, and so too is Jadon Sancho as well, because don't forget Sancho's a former Man City player. But there you go. The news on Donny van de Beek from Ajax. I've been keeping up to date of what's been going on with him on a regular basis. Obviously, Edwin van der Sar has confirmed that Manchester United are interested in Donny van de Beek. Edwin van der Sar did say, though, that Donny van de Beek or no Ajax players will go on the cheap, because we're hopeful that we can get Donny van de Beek for around £36 million. Obviously, the story's saying, that Real Madrid have close to agreeing personal terms, and it said quite a few times that Real Madrid have already agreed a deal to sign Donny van de Beek for around £49 million. This is what it had said. There were stories coming out yesterday from these reports were stemming from the Netherlands, and they said we was in talks with Ajax to sign Donny van de Beek, and we are planning to hijack Real Madrid's move for him. And maybe, Donny van de Beek's open to making a move to Manchester United and that. But £36 million would be a cheap solution. Even £49 million would be a cheap solution for Donny van de Beek. And he's predominantly a box-to-box midfielder and that. So the news on all of that. Like I updated you as well on my recent video that I did. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to avoid buying rotten apples in the summer transfer window, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has recently warned our players that he will not tolerate rotten apples in his squad and that. So this is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed. As you all know, we know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy. Man United are looking to sign players who will be in the image of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his coaching staff. But I think he still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British talents to Manchester United like he did do last summer. As you all know already anyway, Solskjaer's already revealed his plans for the summer transfer window. He wants to make around 3 or 4 signings, Because like I've said numerous of times, Solskjaer believes we need around 3 or 4 signings to become title contenders next season. And, I want us to be title contenders next season, because we need to catch up with the likes of City and Liverpool, because analysing it at the moment, there are strides ahead of us and that. But, Solskjaer's already identified the areas in the squad where he wants to strengthen up as well, don't forget. Obviously, he's still looking to recommend the right winger in. He wants to recommend a midfielder in. He's also in search for the centre-half as well, even though we have got a lot of centre-halves in the team. We was in for the striker, but there were stories coming out not last week saying now Solskjaer's decided to shelve his plans of getting a striker in. The main explanations is because obviously, last week Odi Nigalo extended his loan at the football club, and plus Solskjaer wants to see how Mason Greenwood develops and that. But the summer transfer window will be Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager, as you all know. And don't forget, Ed Woodward, said the other month that, we will remain competitive in the summer transfer window. But he did say, didn't he, Ed Woodward, that we won't do business as usual in the summer transfer market, So what he means in that aspect is that, won't be spending hundreds of millions of pounds. He basically ruled out big transfers to Manchester United and that. As you all know, there were stories coming out the other week saying that we'd taken a £140 million loan from our £150 million revolving credit facility to help us get through the coronavirus crisis, and obviously, to help us get the right calibre players in to the football club. Don't forget, our net debt now is just over 429 million. I was reading reports a few weeks ago, and it does say that Solskjaer's transfer limit has been set, and reportedly, we've only got we are reluctant to pay any more than £70 million for any player. So that actually, puts Jadon Sancho's move to Manchester United in doubt and that. But Solskjaer, knows he's got the backing of Ed Woodward, and, a lot of United fans are still determined to back him. Ed Woodward has said on quite a few occasions this season he's willing to back Solskjaer. Also, too, the Glazers are willing to back Solskjaer as well. You've had Ed Woodward that's been at the club since 2012. So this has been his 8th year now at Man United. You've had the Glazers that have been here since 2005, and it's now 2020, so they've been here 15 years. And we've been very, very critical of Ed Woodward for several years, and we've also been very, very critical of the Glazers because we don't like the way the football club's been run in the last 7 years or something like that. So there you go. Like I said, Solskjaer has been at the football club now a year and a half. And like I've said to I have taken positives from his tenure so far. Like I've mentioned before, there's also negatives in that. But the positives I'm going to take so far is that, Solskjaer has, recommended 5 good players into the football club so far. Spent over £200 million and that on them. He's made 4 permanent signings. The permanent signings he made were Daniel James, which was his first signing. He got Anwan Masaki, he was his second signing. Harry Maguire, he was his first signing. His 4th signing was Bruno Fernandes, who we got in January. And of course, Adi Nigalo, was the 5th one who we got on loan, of course. So, so I credit him, for the signings that he has recommended in so far. I think also, too, Solskjaer's promoted the youth very, very well. The young players, have been given their chances. Like I said, I've been very, very impressed with Mason Greenwood, and I've also been very, very impressed with Brandon Williams. They've really, really impressed me, them, to be quite honest with you. But there again, there's some young players that have had chances, but, their appearances have been limited. They found game time very, very difficult. The likes of Tahith Chong, he's found game time difficult. Also, too, James Garner, he's found game time difficult. Also, too, Angel Gomez, he's found game time very, very difficult as well. But, there you go. But I still credit Solskjaer, for promoting the youth. I think we've had the youngest team in the Premier League this season, if I am correct. Like I said, our record against the Big 6 sides this season has been exceptional. We've taken 17 points against the Big 6 sides this season. Like I said, our record against Chelsea's been superb, since Solskjaer came in. I think we're unbeaten against Chelsea, since Solskjaer came in. We have beaten, I think Solskjaer's overcome Frank Lampard 3 times, but in total, Solskjaer's beaten Chelsea 4 times. Obviously, he's beaten Pep Guardiola 3 times this season. He's become the first manager in history to do that. Also, too, we drew with Liverpool earlier on in the season. That he's beaten Tottenham twice as manager. So we've done very, very well against the big 6 sides. Like I said, Solskjaer's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into the football club. Like I said, a total of 19 players have left Manchester United, I think, since Solskjaer came in. We have got rid of some, top players, to be quite honest with you in that. Like I've said, maybe, there's players over, the years and that, who we shouldn't have, got rid of. But, obviously, we did do that and that. But there you go, we just opened this. So these definitely, things that I do credit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for. You already know the negatives I've gone through with you before on the negatives regarding Solskjaer and that. I think, there's a lot of mistakes Manchester United have made in the last, 7 years. And this is one of the main explanations why we've been so inconsistent in that. You can say, we made a mistake by getting rid of Herrera, because Herrera was exceptional for us. We made a mistake getting rid of Lukaku. I think we made a mistake by giving Solskjaer the job permanently. But the main explanation why we give Solskjaer the job permanently was reflecting on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. Definitely, we recommended Jose Mourinho in too late. We should have got Mourinho when Ferguson left, but Ferguson made the mistake by ever appointing David Moyes in that. Maybe, we've recruited a lot of players in who we shouldn't have recruited in. So a lot of the players we have recruited over the years have been flops. So that's another mistake we've made. And we've overpaid for players and that. Maybe, there's players we've given there's some players we've given contracts to, who we shouldn't have given contracts to. So let's just put that into the equation. That some of the decisions Solskjaer's made so far as Man United manager have been wrong, but there again, he has made some right decisions. So let's just put that into the equation. But Solskjaer does deserve at least another season at Manchester United because, he's still in the process of rebuilding and it is a transition period. It is a transition period in that. So there you go. And, there's big decisions to make, for when the Premier League resumes. Who's going to be our first choice left back? Is it going to, is Luke Shaw going to remain our first choice left back? Or, is Brandon Williams going to become our first choice left back and that? We know that David De Gea is going to remain our number 1 goalkeeper. David De Gea has been our number 1 goalkeeper for several years anyway. I give you the news on my recent video, by the way, of, Williams and Dean Henderson reportedly, they are in line to both sign new contracts. We know that Wan-Bissaka is going to remain our first choice right back. Obviously, our centre-halves will be Maguire and Victor Lindelof, because they are our first choice centre-halves and that. But Lindelof now could face competition from the likes of Bay and Tuanzebe, because, they are now back from injury. I think our first choice midfield trio will be Bruno Fernandes, Pogba and Scott McTominay and that. But yeah, but the decisions we've got to make, we've got to know what's happening with Angel Gomez. We've got to know what's happening with Delo and that. I think Solskjaer, he has an idea what his best 11 is. It'll be interesting to see what 11 he puts out against Tottenham. Like I said, Solskjaer's been changing formation persistently this season as well. But throughout a lot this season, Solskjaer has gone with that 4-2-3-1 formation. A few times the 4-3-3 and a few times he has gone with 3 at the back. From my own perception, we'll look more expansive with 3 at the back and that. Don't forget, Solskjaer revealed his plans ahead of the Premier League restart, and, he's told our players to rediscover their edge. And, he says we've been working on new ideas, and, we have been training very, very well. But Solskjaer recently explained his tactics ahead of the Premier League restart. I'm very, very convinced, we can, continue where we left off, because before the football season got suspended, we was doing well. We are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions and that. And, there's 9 games remaining in the Premier League and there's 92 games to play in all competitions and that. And like I said, there's quite a few things, we've got to look forward to when the season resumes. The top 4 is an ambition for us. The FA Cup and the Europa League's an ambition for us as well. because, you know, that's a chance for us getting some silverware on the board under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know. You know, and if we could win if we could win both them or at least one of them, you know, it would be a memorable first full season for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United. But Solskjaer is looking to beat Jose Mourinho for the second time as manager, and he's looking to beat Tottenham for the third time as a manager. It is on the 19th of June, and it is on a Friday, so it's Friday night football. We have got a fully fit squad. You know, like I said, now Rashford's back, Pogba's back. It did say yesterday, you know, now that 7 players are back from injury and that. So, there you go. So, there you go. And nothing much really more to say, guys. Nothing much really more to say. Like I said, I do presume we're going to be extending more players' contracts. We've got around 9 players' contracts that are due to expire next year. Yeah. And, you know, something we need to resolve. But a lot of players' contracts have been extended since Solskjaer came in. On my recent video as well, I give you the news on Chris Smalling. You know the news on him now. Reportedly, you know, Chris Smalling's close to joining Roma permanently. Reportedly, we said wanted around £20 million to let Smalling go permanently and that. And but reportedly, we're going to loan Chris Smalling out to Roma for next season. Roma, I think, will have to pay around £3 million for him to stay on loan with Roma for another season. Then I think there's going to be an obligation to buy included in the deal and that. And then I think after the loan next season, you know, Roma will pay around £13 million to get Chris Smalling permanently. So you know the news on him. But like I said, we're going to get rid of at least 5 players in the summer transfer window and that. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop me comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.